Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. We're here at the Calgary Emergency Management Agency for its update on the 16th Avenue water main break. We are here in the Emergency Operations Center, and today's updates will be brought to you by Mayor Jody Gondek, SEMA Chief Sue Henry, and Capital Priorities and Investment Director Francois Bouchard. We'll hear their updates and then we'll take your questions. Please limit yourself to a question and a follow. I'll welcome Mayor Gondek to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Oki Dadanastada, Ambawastich, and Tansei, everyone. Good afternoon. Calgary, I want to start by saying you have done such a great job at easing your indoor water use back in sort of a safe manner, I would say. We have been monitoring your water usage and you have been really good water stewards. Yesterday, you used 480 million liters of water, which is only a few more than the day before. So that shows us that as we have asked you to do your part, especially now easing into not having reductions indoors, you have done a fantastic job, and I can't thank you enough for that. Our city's other water treatment plant at Glenmore has been getting a little bit of TLC that was much needed since the Bears Paw feeder main came back online. The maintenance at Glenmore continues at a really good pace, and it's anticipated that it should be completed by tomorrow. Now, speaking of the feeder main, it's been operating at 50% capacity, and the team in water operations is telling us that they have not seen any issues or any concerns as they continue to do acoustic monitoring. This continues to be good news for the stabilization phase that we are presently in. Earlier today, the team launched a tool called a pipe diver, which is affectionately named Dory, into the entire length of the feeder main pipe from the Bears Paw plant down into Hillhurst. The scans that the pipe diver does will tell us more about the condition and integrity of the entire length of pipe. And it's going to be essential for us as we plan any maintenance that might be required on this feeder main. Now, I want you to remember that we are still under stage 4 outdoor water restrictions, and we are still under the fire ban. And once the water services team says that the water system is healthy enough, we will move from those stage 4 restrictions down to stage 3. And until those stage 4 watering restrictions are eased, you will be able to continue accessing the 7 non-potable water sites that are located throughout the city. Those sites remain open and available to all of you. Now, earlier this afternoon, the state of local emergency expired, and the conditions for keeping it are no longer required. And so today will be our last daily update on the path towards water restoration. From this point, any updates will take place as news becomes available. With that, I'll turn things over to Calgary Emergency Management Agency Chief Sue Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. Today, the state of local emergency expired, which went into effect on June the 15th. The SOL was declared when we discovered the additional emergency repair sites. We wanted to ensure we were able to navigate any challenges with this added complexity. At this stage, we no longer require that additional coordination. However, the municipal emergency plan remains in effect and the EOC remains open. I want to stress that the lifting of the state of local emergency does not mean things have gone back to normal. The feeder main is still not operating at full capacity, and stage 4 outdoor water restrictions remain in place. We are, unfortunately, still not at a place where we can relax those outdoor restrictions and move to stage 3. This will be a phased approach, and I promise we will lift it as soon as we can. Until we move to this lesser stage of water restrictions, the river water pickups will remain open, and a list of those 7 locations can be found on calgary.ca. For indoor water use, as you know, on Tuesday, we were able to ease the indoor water saving measures, which was a major milestone. When we eased those, we asked Calgarians to do so slowly, not to overwhelm the system, and you listened, so thank you. Yesterday, once again, water demand remains stable and well below the average for this time of year. Thank you to everyone for helping by using water a little at a time to catch up on things like your laundry, your dishes. It is really making a difference. I also want to remind Calgarians and visitors to Calgary that a fire ban remains in effect. There was some confusion that when the indoor water saving measures were eased, so were the fire restrictions. This is not the case. We simply do not have enough water capacity to safely allow us to lift the fire ban at this stage. Thanks to the recent weather, it's been rainy, things are very green, but this is not what the fire ban is related to. The fire ban is related to the amount of available water in our system required to fight fires. It is not about the current weather conditions. And again, as soon as we can, we will lift the fire ban. As we ease back into regular operations, we're happy to report that some additional services have reopened. In addition to most indoor pools, most additional aquatic amenities such as indoor play structures, hot tubs, steam rooms, water slides, and kiddie pools are back in service today. All outdoor pools and spray parks remain closed during the Stage 4 restrictions. With the expiration of the state of local emergency and the beginning of Stampede, today will be our last regularly scheduled 2 p.m. daily media briefing. We will continue to keep you informed on our progress as it happens, and we will do a full media briefing again for a major development or when changes are made to our outdoor water use. And like always, we will continue to keep Calgary.ca up to date as well as updating our social media channels. We have been transparent with you throughout this process, and we will continue to share as much information as we can as soon as we have it. I recognize there's a feeling of not a lot of new news right now, and this can be frustrating, and you feel the urgency to get back to full use. When we come back to full service, we want to come back the right way. This means slow, steady progress and one step at a time. We've come too far to endanger our progress by relaxing outdoor water restrictions too soon. A team of experts continue to be hard at work on this, and you will hear some very careful maneuverings are happening in the pipe to make sure that we can continue to safely progress to the next stage. So I ask you to continue to be patient and not to use outdoor water until we can safely give you the go-ahead. Again, thanks for being patient as we get through this, and keep using your gray water, your rainwater, river water, or shower water for your plants while we are in this Stage 4 phase of water restrictions. With that, I'd like to pass it over to Director Francois Bouchard.
Thank you, Chief Henry, and good afternoon, everyone. The Glenmore Water Treatment Plant is still undergoing maintenance, and this is on track for completion by Friday. The Bears Paw South feeder main has been flowing at 50% capacity and 73% of normal operating pressure. This morning, we transitioned through our next operational step. We turned off the 2 small pumps we had been running since Sunday and started a larger pump. With this change, we continue to test, monitor, and stabilize the pipe and pump system. There are 2 criteria we're looking at to validate through this process. We're monitoring to ensure that the system is stabilizing through these changes, and we're testing the water to ensure quality and safety. As we proceed, we must also actively manage our supply and demand. And with this in mind, we remain in Stage 4 outdoor water restrictions. Moving from Stage 4 to Stage 3 is our next milestone. From there, we will move to Stage 3 to Stage 2. This progress relies on our ability to gradually increase supply in our network without compromising the pipe. Once the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant's maintenance is complete and the system remains stable, we will start to ease some outdoor restrictions. It is important to note some level of outdoor water restrictions will likely be in place for some time yet. We're unable to confirm how long until we progress further. To support bringing on more pressure and flow to the Bears Paw South feeder main, we are now undertaking a full condition assessment of the 11 kilometers using a piece of technology called a pipe diver. The pipe diver is a high-resolution electromagnetic and ultrasound pipe inspection tool for large pipe diameter pipe inspections. It operates while the pipe is in service, providing a pipe wall condition assessment, including identifying if there are any wire breaks in the pipe and pinpointing any areas of distress. The inspection is taking place today and will approximately take 12 hours for the device to swim the length of the pipe and collect data. We expect to receive the results of that analysis in 3 to 4 weeks. After assessing the results, we will use this data to inform if there's further investigation or repair work needed. After we remove the pipe diver, the next step in our continual monitoring will be placing fiber optic cable through the pipe. This is a longer-term monitoring solution, which will provide information on the status of the pipe over the long run. As a I want to thank Calgarians for continuing to do their part as we navigate outdoor restrictions together and support the health of the overall system. I would like to now welcome the mayor back to the podium.
Thanks very much, Director Bouchard. Now, tomorrow marks the official start of Calgary Stampede, and it begins with the Stampede Parade. The more than a century-old tradition is something that the city has united around annually, celebrating everything that makes our city one of the absolute best in the world. And now it's survived 2 water crises in recent memory. Earlier during this water incident, it was heartening to see that the Calgary Stampede and their CEO, Joel Cowley, found a way to continue the greatest outdoor show on earth in a responsible way by finding ways to save water or bring in water from places outside of Calgary. Many of their plans, their contingency plans, remain in place. Because we are still under outdoor water restrictions, they will be using non-potable water for things like the Western event competition grooming and cleaning of the Midway. The water attractions like games on the Midway and the Dog Bowl pool will be using treated water that is being hauled in from outside of the city. When you head down to the Stampede grounds this year, you will be able to see the water storage tanks that are in place and ready to go as needed. I appreciate the Stampede for working so quickly with our water operations team and with the team at Calgary Emergency Management Agency to get those preparations in place and for being such a good water steward in our blue sky city. As you have heard, with the state of local emergency expiring today, this will be our last daily update on work on restoring the water system. Any other updates that we have to bring you, you will receive notification via media release or press conferences that will be held to give you those updates. With that, I will turn things over to Sherry to field questions from the media.
Thank you, Mayor. Global News app.
What is the continued fallout from this feeder main line? I think of city services throughout the summer, and then of course as you head towards budget, and a lot of competing priorities, including soon to come decision on the Green Line and other matters that are making their way there as well. What does that continued fallout look like for the city at this point?
I would say that every city has challenges that come up unexpectedly, and this is one of those things. We continue to do the work that we had in progress, and we are dealing with this issue as well. And as far as the independent third-party review goes, it's good to know that it will be an independent body that's looking into this incident, so it will not be city resources. But in the meantime, we continue to have council meetings, we continue to have public hearings, we do the work that we need to do, while at the same time, we have tackled this crisis.
When do you anticipate the cost of this incident will be released publicly, and when do you anticipate potentially asks to other orders of government for some relief on those costs of the city?
I can tell you that Calgary Emergency Management Agency Chief Sue Henry has been tracking the costs as they've been coming in on this project. She continues to do so because we are not completed all of the monitoring yet. And so once everything is done and we have a fulsome cost, we will let everyone know what that comprehensive cost is. At that point, we will look and see whether we can cover it within our budgets or if we have any reserves or contingencies that allow us to cover it. And if we need assistance, we will certainly be accessing any funds or grants that are available through our partner governments.
Todd, CTV.
Outdoor pools remain closed until we move to stage 3. Indoor pools have been allowed to open. Can you please explain how outdoor pools are a greater risk to the water system than indoor pools?
So the distinction is really about the bylaw, and as we transition to stage 3 restrictions, outdoor pools will be able to open.
To follow, Todd?
No.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Taylor, CBC.
Actually, all my questions were
Oh,
answered.
you're,
Yeah.
okay. Sid.
Sydney Bizarre, pardon me. Sydney Bizarre with Rebel News. For the mayor, do you think it would be more appropriate for someone other than yourself and the city staff to initiate a fully third-party investigation?
Because we are the city that was impacted by this incident, it is incumbent upon us to not only tackle the repair work and restoration of the system, it is our responsibility to make sure that a third-party independent review takes place, and that's what we've initiated.
And tomorrow marks 1 month since this feeder main break. How many years do you think it'll take for that investigation to resolve?
We have spoken with experts who have done this sort of independent review in their professional experiences. They are telling us that it's probably going to take longer than what administration had initially anticipated, of being a few months. We rely on those experts to let us know how long this will take. And I would say Calgarians deserve all of the answers to their questions. They deserve to know what happened, why it happened, and how we will ensure it doesn't happen again. And to do that, you need to take the time to do a proper review.
Thanks very much. Final question, anyone? Abdu.
Mayor, obviously Calgarians want answers and we talk about transparency, but there are still a lot of questions, whether it's around those costs and other aspects of this emergency. So how is that balance happening when it comes to transparency? There's still a lot of unanswered questions around this that the answer we typically get is through that third-party review. Now we're hearing it's going to take much longer.
So when it comes to letting Calgarians know what the costs are associated with the repair and restoration work, we have made a commitment to disclosing those expenses as quickly as we can. Like I said, it would be irresponsible for us to dribble little bits of information about the cost and ask you to cobble it together yourselves. We are doing that in a comprehensive manner, and we'll get you that information as quickly as we can. I know that Chief Henry is trying to get that done as we are winding down the state of local emergency and as her team is transitioning to stand down the emergency response to this. So those answers should come as quickly as we can get them to you. When it comes to the independent review on this incident, I have to trust that the experts know what they're doing. I have to trust that the folks who have been through this in their careers, who have done this with other water authorities, that they are the ones that are best positioned to tell us how long things will take. And throughout this process, I made a commitment to you to communicate twice a day any information that we could bring you so that you could have peace of mind that things were being addressed and resolved. And we continue that commitment to bring you information as it becomes available.
Quick follow from Todd, then we're done.
Can you just explain how the bylaw differentiates between outdoor pool, indoor pool when it's a water emergency?
There's a couple of different pieces at play here. If we go back to June the 5th, when this all started to occur, our outdoor pools were not open and were not ready, so they're currently sitting empty. So there's a different process for them to go through to come back online, to be able to fill their pools, to be able to open for the season and do all the water quality testing pieces that they need to do. In our water use bylaw, there are stage 4 restrictions and there are stage 3 restrictions. And the stage 4 restrictions currently do provide the closure of those outdoor pools. So that bylaw measure, combined with the fact that those pools are currently empty and haven't been brought online for the year, is really where that extra water draw will come.
Thank you very much. Mayor, did you want to close or should we wrap for today?
Yeah, I just want to close by thanking our media partners again for getting information out to the public. If it weren't for you broadcasting this widely, we wouldn't be able to inform the public as well as we've been able to. And I really want to thank the private sector partners who stepped up to help us not only with the repair and restoration work, but all the expertise and advice that they've provided as we've gone through this. And it will be similar experts within the energy sector, within pipelines, within water services. Those are the folks, you know, from across the country, potentially throughout North America. They'll be the ones that we tap to ensure that the incident review is done in a comprehensive manner so that every question can be answered. Thank you all.